Good evening, Mountaineer Nation, and welcome into the Mountaineer Effect with your host, Sam. I'm going at it solo tonight. If you like what you see, be sure to click that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. I want to talk a little bit tonight about the Mountaineers and being a Mountaineer fan. As most of you know, I'm more of a pragmatic fan. I look at things a little bit differently. I look at the direction of West Virginia a little bit different than the traditional fan. I don't like the word fan because I'm not a fanatic, but I see things a little bit differently than most fans, and never been afraid to talk about that. But at the end of the day, I am a West Virginia fan. I do support what they're doing. I like the quality of their product. Both football and basketball. They'll always be my team. Your team is your team through the good and the bad, and you have to stand by them through the good and the bad. And unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't happen with everybody, and that's okay. As long as you're happy with the teams that you follow and the teams that you enjoy watching, that's between you and yourself. It really has no bearing on your quality as a person or anything like that. It just means, sometimes we'll have to have hosting changes because of these types of changes. The Maryland game. If I had to grade the game overall, I'd give West Virginia probably a D plus. And only because that high, because the special teams, really played well. But from a running perspective, passing perspective, defensive perspective, it was a debacle. It was bad. It was just bad. There wasn't a whole lot to take away from that game and feel good about. Especially when it comes to the coaching. I was really disappointed in Neil Brown and the play calling. It was so predictable and so ill-conceived. I don't know what they're thinking. I really don't. I get tired of bowl screens, and I get tired of Daggy trying to throw to the boundary. Still can't make the throws, and then when he does, the receivers can't catch the ball. I don't know what the answer is there. I'm not a college coach. I don't know what you need to do, but obviously, whatever you're doing isn't working. Didn't work last year. It's not working this year. You need to wind it back a little bit and take a look at how you're working with these kids and change it up just a little, because obviously something's not working. If the players are a little too timid, or I don't know what the issue is. There's some things you need to work on, obviously, and any West Virginia fan can watch that game and say the same thing. Was Maryland better than West Virginia on this day? They were. They played really well. I was impressed with their offense and their defense. I was more impressed with their coaching. They identified a lot of what West Virginia was doing, and they shut it down. They held Letty Brown and didn't let him dominate the game like I thought that he would. JERD Dagy's improvements that we've heard so much about was just hyperbole. Like it wasn't there in the least. All in all, it was just a disappointing week. I knew that it was a potential trap game. I said that months and months ago, and you compare that to my prediction, and I think I got caught up in some of the reports of how much Daggy had improved. But it was a trap game, just like the Virginia Tech game. It's a trap game. It's a game that West Virginia is going to have to prepare for, that Neil Brown and the coaching staff is going to have to prepare for, and if they don't, they're not going to win. West Virginia moves on this week to play Long Island University. I'm not going to even review that game. It's your cupcake game. It doesn't do much for you as far as progression, because there's going to be some progress made from week 1 to week 2. You're not going to see it because you're playing a non-FBS team. So, as long as you don't lose that game, you're fine. And then the week after that, we take on Virginia Tech. which, in my opinion, again, is a trap game. But we'll talk about that at another time. All in all, watching the game, I was really disappointed in the play and the coaching. I don't know if Neil Brown uh, has it in him to win close games. He hasn't shown to me that he can. And, that's kind of sad to me because there's been so many close games. It seems like we've lost them all. Um, and I've always pointed at coaching issues. And I kind of do the same thing here. Um, I know that Neil's still playing on house money when it comes to the players. There's still, a lot of Dana's recruits, and I get that. But you can't help but wonder if the coaching was just a little bit better. Some of these games that they lost, Texas last year, Maryland this year, they hadn't been able to squeeze those out. A great coach should be able to squeeze those games out, and Neil just doesn't. I don't know. He just hadn't got over that little hump yet. And I hope that he does because I do like Neil as far as a program guy. He's a great program builder. That's undeniable, but he's got a lot to prove to me. And of course, with West Virginia, you also have to think about all of this talk about the conference realignment and all that. And you wonder if that has something to do with what we're seeing in the football quality. I don't know. All I know is we're still seeing some of the same mistakes that we saw last year. But, a 4-point loss with 4 turnovers, I guess that's just what we got. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and follow us here on Geek Gorilla TV on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm your host, Sam. Let's go Mountaineers.